Now let us say if you want to enter a user defined let us say you have been asked to enter a user defined list. We have already seen what is the list. So list is this. These are the example of list 1 2 3, or you can have some string inside a b, or let us say charo set, something like this are list. So you have to ask a user for a list. Then what you can do or how to do that? So, and to ask the user for a list is, first of all, you must know size of the list. That means if I am asking something from user, so how many number of elements are there in this list, I must know. So first of all, I'll ask the size of list from the user. So what I can do for that is, I can have a name size is equal to integer. When to use this or when to use do not use this, if you are sure that all the elements of the list are numbers, then you use this integer. Otherwise you do not want to use the integer. As of now this is the size, so it must be an integer. That's why I'm typecasting it. So input size. Okay, so first of all user will have the size. Now I have to create an empty list to generate the list. So first of all I'll create an empty list. By putting a blank square bracket, I can generate an empty list. So my list is the list which is empty right now. This is the empty list right now. Now I know the size of the list. So what I can do to enter the elements? So we know that there is append command or append method to enter something in the list. But where it would be added? It would be added at the end of list. So right now my list is blank. So suppose I am writing my list dot append So if I write my list dot append, what will happen? If I write this my list dot append, what will happen? Also, immediately my list would have a new element inside it. It would be 23. Again, let us say I am writing same command my list dot append, and let us say 45. What will happen? One more element would be added to my list like this. So 45 would be added at the end of the list. So now I have to repeat this task for to repeat this as per the size of my list. Suppose my size is 4, so I have to add 4 elements in this way. At the end I'll get list like this. So this is my 4 element list. So user had already inserted this. Now if user enter this 4, I have to perform this task 4 times. If user enter 5, I have to perform this task 5 times. And again this 23 is not given by me, it must be from a user. So I have to create a loop which will ask this number from the user and will append this using append command. Okay, so how to do that? So now we have to enter a list manually. So what we can do is we can use append command. And how to use append command is, right now here I am using user defined values, but instead of using user defined values I can enter or I can pass a variable as well. Suppose this is, I can do this, my list dot append x. This is possible. It will pass 23 here and a list would be created like this, or an element would be added to the list like this. This is possible. Same way, instead of writing this 23 directly, what I can use is integer input, enter element. So this is the one way, this is the way to append a variable inside this. So user will be asked for the value, that value will be stored over here, and that value will be passed to list, and list would be updated with that value. Now I can do this task for multiple times. How many times? So as per the size of list. So how to do this? For that, let us have an example. So first of all, I will enter my size. Let us say user is entering the size. I will also create a blank list where I can later on append my elements. Now I will run for loop. Now I have to do this for size 10. That means number of entries would be dependent on size. So I'll run this loop for range of size. So if I enter size is equal to 4, in that case this for loop will enter 4 new elements to the list. X is equal to integer. Here rather than writing integer, you can directly use input as well. If you are sure your list would be an element of your list would be an integer, then put integer in front of this element. Enter element, enter element. Okay, and then I will append the new element to the list. Okay, and then I will gradually print that list as well. Print my list. So you will see each and every updated entry of the list. Okay, I am running this code now. It is asking me size, let us say 4. I am entering my value 23, 34, 55 and 12. There is an error. I should not put here, I should put here X command. Here I should write my, instead of my list I should write X actually, because I want to pass this value in the list. So I'll run this. So I'll run this. It is asking me size, let us say 4. My first element is 34, second element is 12, 34 and some 567. So this is the list created by a user. Now if you want to perform any operation on this list, you can do that. This is the way to input the list.